No, if you apply and interpret the Constitution strictly in line with the decision of the Supreme Court in 2013, then the consequence of a withdrawal essentially mean that there is or there will be no election on the 26th. What happened is that the Supreme Court was invited to make a determination and interpretation of Article 138 of the Constitution and Article 140 of the Constitution. And the Supreme Court arrived at the conclusion that in the event a candidate withdraws, and that is, to be specific, paragraph 290 of the Supreme Court ruling in 2013. First, and before that, in paragraph 289, the Supreme Court actually defined who should participate in the fresh or repeat election. The Supreme Court also dealt with the question of nomination. How do you define nomination during the second, the repeat election? And specifically on the question of withdrawal, the Constitution stated that in the event of death in paragraph 290, or abandonment, the precise word, the actual word used by the Supreme Court then was abandonment, then this would trigger Article 138(8)(b), which is to the effect that a presidential election will be cancelled and a fresh one held, B, if a candidate dies. Now, what the Supreme Court did, and exercising their judicial function, they gave a wider latitude to Article 138(8)(b), which went beyond death and included abandonment, or read differently, withdrawal. Now, the consequence of which then, therefore, would be to trigger a fresh nomination and a fresh election. If you apply that, which is the law, it was good law in 2013 for especially the Jubilee administration. Remember, this is the ruling or the judgment that validated President Uhuru Kenyatta's election in 2013. If it was good law then, it goes without saying that you cannot pick and choose. That aspect of that judgment was good for me, and aspect of it was bad for me. In any case, the IBC has already begun a set a precedent in operationalizing the Supreme Court judgment of 2013, when they restricted the participation in the fresh presidential election to Raila Odinga, Prime Minister Raila Odinga and President Uhuru Kenyatta. The IBC was applying paragraph 292 and 293 of the Supreme Court judgment of 2013. They cannot now turn around and say we can pick and choose.
So Felix, from what you're saying, I'm gathering that there will be no election on October 26th.
That is the proper reading of the law. There would be no election.
Let me bring Honorable